here. So welcome to the One Life Presenter Online Summit. And we're here with another presenter from this year's annual conference in Long Beach, California. And it's someone who is, those of you guys who have been working with One Life or involved in supporting One Life have gotten to know Lucas probably a little bit over the last several months. But he's someone who, in addition to being on the One Life team, is also someone who's really passionate about helping people to move past where they currently are, and he's really passionate about helping people utilize the resources that they have around them to create the life of their dreams. And the title that we put today was going from surviving to thriving, and I think that Lucas is a great example of someone who is a lot like a lot of us, and at whatever level. We're both still yet before our 30th birthday, but I'm sure that we can both say that we've had times where we've felt like we were merely getting by or just kind of surviving, and how he's actively gone and created an awesome lifestyle for himself, where he's got multiple income opportunities. He's already got his first piece of real estate. He's got a coaching and training company that helps people with their financial literacy. He's part of the One Life team, and so he's really been able to create opportunities by doing things that I'd imagine he finds joy out of. So thanks for being here, dude.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So let's get into it, because I mentioned that on all these calls we have people who we have a lot of the presenters who will hop on and like to mingle them. So let's get right into the steps, right? I think that someone who's listening to this, maybe this might apply to them, maybe it might not, but I imagine this video could be something really awesome that they could send to their nephew, or send to their grandson, or send to someone that they love who is in that place where they're like, I don't know what to do. I know that I want to do something with my life, but I don't want to do what everybody's been telling me to do. And what that picture of success looks like, maybe it's not right for them. So I'd love for you to kind of share what are the steps to, digging in and utilizing where you're currently at to pull you to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's all about the resources that we have, and resources doesn't necessarily only mean money. It means your time, it means your relationships, it means your work ethic. It means just like there's another talk with Nate Palmer about like eating correctly and having the right amount of energy. So resources are more than just money. And I'm definitely a big believer of using what you have and then just doing the best that you can. Everyone's kind of dealt different cards, but they always say it's how you play the cards that matter, not what cards you get. A lot of our community is that way. It's especially when we're getting started. I really think more than anything, it's the work ethic and it's the relationships, because all of the opportunities that I've had in the last 2 or 3 years have actually stemmed from work that I've done 6 years ago. And then people knew who I was, people knew how hard I worked, people knew where my heart was, and then they knew it was in the right place. And I was given opportunities. And Joe Diaz says that if an opportunity comes knocking at your door, you answer. You answer if your girlfriend broke up with you, you still answer. You answer if you're in your underwear, you still answer. Because if you don't answer, opportunity is going to knock on somebody else's door. So it's really key to maximize all your opportunities that you do have, because it's going to compound and it's going to scale along the way.
So what does that look like, for you? I'd love for you to share kind of how that played out in your life. And I know you've, had some great success and, already investing in real estate and, diversifying your income. So where were you at before that then, you kind of look back on the place before, like you have the before and after picture, like what did that before look like for you?
Totally. Before I was just a regular high school student. The only thing that I cared about was wrestling, and that was like my world. And then I learned a lot of really good habits in wrestling, so I definitely thank that and thank my coaches and all my mentors in the past. But I started Cutco knives right out of high school, and because I ended up getting hurt my senior year of wrestling. I ended up working really hard with Cutco and then just doing the best that I could. And just on a side note, I totally thought I wanted to wrestle. Like in high school, I thought I wanted to go to college. I wanted to wrestle. That's all I cared about. And another phrase I like is when one door closes, another door opens. And sometimes in the moment, we don't realize that the next door, the next opportunity is actually the one that we should take. And so it's definitely been a cool path. And then basically I did Cutco, I did well personal sales, ended up becoming an assistant manager, moving to Sacramento. I ended up wrestling a little bit at Sac City College, but I realized that school really wasn't for me because I was already making pretty good income with sales. And I realized that was really more of what I wanted because I could work when I wanted, how much I wanted. I didn't have to show up at a certain time. There's a lot of benefits to that. And I ended up running my own office in Yuba City, California, recruiting like 97 people in like a summer, and it was a blast. I didn't make any money, but I had a lot of fun and a lot of good experiences. And I ended up, because of how well I did with Cutco, it ended up getting me to my next stage, which was Vivint Smart Home. And if I didn't do well in Cutco, I wouldn't have gotten that invite to the next stage, right? And then in that one, the first bunch of months sucked. It really, really sucked because we didn't know what we're doing and we just had to figure it out and learn along the way. And then we finally got good training. And then that next summer, me and three other friends really crushed it. All of us making over six figures in about an 8-month, 9-month period of time. And that just really catapulted me to having the funds to actually invest in myself and invest in my own financial education. That's what allowed me to buy the real estate. That's what allowed me to really set the stage and kind of lay the groundwork for where I'm at right now. And that just along my journey, I ended up going to a self-development conference, and they said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And I realized that hardly anybody had the same opportunities that I had. And honestly, I kind of felt selfish for hoarding that knowledge and hoarding that information. So I wanted to create what you mentioned was the financial program. It's called FA Cash. Financial awareness creates assets, stability, and happiness. And I truly believe that. And I truly believe that if all of us are able to become financially free, it opens up so many opportunities, and it stops us from thinking in like the scarcity mindset of there's not enough, so I have to take from somebody else in order to survive. Like we can't operate in that kind of a paradigm. We have to operate in a prosperity mindset. What else can I do? What else is an opportunity? Who else do I need to talk to make this opportunity happen? And just by asking those types of questions, you get way better answers. If you're asking yourself, why do you suck all the time? You're going to get an answer and you're probably not going to like the answer. But if you ask, hey, what am I good at? What do I need to work on? Who can I learn from? Who's really good in this realm that I need to learn from? And then in just taking the action in the right positive direction, and it totally compounds. And because of what I did with FA Cash, I ended up getting connected with Tim in the One Life community, and I totally love the mission that One Life is about. Like you said, it's taking people from surviving to thriving, and ultimately that's the goal, is to just create more and more prosperity, and it's kind of a ripple effect. If we work on ourselves first, then we can influence other people. But if we don't figure out what we have going on for ourselves, we can't help anybody. You know, you can't give anybody something you don't have, right? And that pertains to even loving yourself, and just everything really connects together. So I think that's a really big part. And And yeah, now I'm enjoying my journey. Like you said, I still do Vivint. I still do a couple of other sales things on the side. So I'm definitely all about multiple streams of income and just finding where I can add value. If you ask yourself, how can I add value to this situation, you're going to get better results. If you have a boss, how do you add value to your boss so that he likes you more and he wants to help you succeed, and maybe he wants to give you a promotion? And I'm definitely a big believer of just doing a little extra, because so many people want to settle and so many people want to just do the bare minimum and just kind of skate by. And if you set yourself apart, the way you set yourself apart is by doing more, by doing just a little extra. And it might only be 5 to 10% extra, but it really, really impacts and it really scales. And it just shows people that you're serious. It shows people that you want to succeed in life. The only reason I succeeded in Cutco is because I had a really big goal and I had a lot of awesome people that wanted to support my goal. And it's because I shared what my goal was, and I shared my passion, and I shared my dreams, and I shared what I wanted to do in life. And people saw that, and people caught fire to it, and people want to help. Like, most people are good people. Most people want to help each other. But if you don't ask for help and you don't show people that you're serious, why would they want to help? They're like, oh no, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about his life. Why would I want to help? Right? So I think that's super key, is just being very serious about your life and taking control of your life. Like, we are in full control of how we react, as well as the opportunities that we get. We really do have control of a lot more things than we give ourselves credit sometimes. And the harder you work, and the more you go after it, and the more people you reach out to, and the more people you connect to, and the more people that you add value to on a regular basis, it's going to compound. It works out really well. Zig Ziglar has one of my favorite quotes, and it's, you can have everything that you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. And it's pretty simple. So if you're not afraid of working hard and you're not afraid of adding value to people, good things are going to come.
Yeah, my I guess I have two thoughts. So the first one is you went through the FA cash pretty quickly, and I actually really like what each of those components are. Can you just go over again what each of those like letters stand for?
Yeah, absolutely. So FA Cash, financial awareness, creates assets, stability, and happiness. So, and it comes in that order. You can have happiness before you become financially free, for sure. Like, there are people in Africa that don't have a penny, but they're loving life. So you can totally be happy along the way. But financial awareness, if you're aware of your finances and you're aware of the pluses and minuses and you're aware of how much cash flow you have, you have more wiggle room. You have more freedom. And that's what ultimately financial freedom is. It's freedom. It's freedom to do what you want, when you want, on your terms. It's freedom to not have to go in at 7 a.m. just because you don't want to go in at 7 a.m. It's all of that stuff. So there's a thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You should check it out if you haven't heard of it. But basically, you need the stability. You need to know that you're going to have your next meal. You need to know that you have a roof over your head. You need to know you have those things to take care of. And then there's there's friendships, and then there's knowing that you matter to people. And then after that, and then there's significance, and then there's like self-actualization, as far as becoming who you know you're meant to be long term. But if you don't figure out the bottom tier, you don't figure out the stability part, you're not going to get to the other parts of the tier. Like, you're just going to be stuck in the bottom part, living in survival. So that's what I mean about financial awareness. If we're able to really pay attention to where our money flows and where our money goes, and if we can allocate things ahead of time, that makes everything so much easier. I always recommend having multiple checking or multiple savings accounts. And right when you get paid, have it automatically go into different accounts. You can have like a guilt-free play account. You can have a financial freedom account. You can have like an oh shit account just in case stuff hits the fan, because stuff always does. People get sick, cars break down, stuff happens. But if we don't plan ahead, now it's an issue, and now people freak out, and now like you got to call people and just to borrow money just to pay for an expense that you could have paid for, but you bought a couch the week before. You bought something that you didn't necessarily need the day before. And honestly, in our consumer society, it is so easy to just spend our money. Like that's what marketing is about. That's why there's commercials on everything that want your money all the time. And if we aren't smart about it and we aren't paying attention, we will always give them our money because they asked for it. But instead, one of the biggest lessons that any financial advisor or anyone's going to say is pay yourself first. You matter. You matter more than the marketing guys. You matter more than Coca-Cola does. You matter more than McDonald's does. You matter more than Nike does. And you need to know that, and you need to tell yourself that, and you need to actually take action that reflect that. And if you do, you're going to get better results. And honestly, again, it's all about compounding actions. Everything stacks up on itself. And if you set yourself up like the automated savings, that's easier. You're not even thinking about it and you're getting ahead. But it just makes it way easier when you're paying attention to what's going on instead of just going through the motions. Tim from One Life says that once you get to age 50, you're either going to love all your choices in life or you're going to hate all your choices in life. And honestly, that's why I think people have midlife crises. It's because they live on autopilot, and then they wake up one day and then they look back at their life and they're like, who the heck am I? Like, who is this? Like, whose life is this? Because I didn't want this. I didn't choose this. And it's because they just went on autopilot. And we just can't do that. And like, well, we can. That is a choice, but I don't think that's the best choice. I don't think that's the smartest choice. And like, as humans, we have a really cool brain. Like, our brain's freaking amazing. So if we let ourselves actually use the resources that we have, and we use them correctly, and we use them intelligently, we can have everything we want in life eventually. It'll come. We just can't have that instant gratification of, hey, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Like, that stuff doesn't happen. You know, millionaires have multiple streams of income, and they have businesses, and they have things that stack on each other, and that's what builds everything, right?
Mm. Great stuff, Lucas.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So you're going to be speaking at you're going to be presenting at the One Life conference this year, and I think that it really is a star-studded lineup. I mean, it's like the dream team, you know.
Totally.
It's like the so lots of great workshops, lots of great trainings, and lots of great breakouts and keynotes, the whole thing. What can someone expect from what you're going to be presenting and some of the things you're going to be talking about at the conference?
I'm going to go more in depth about each resource and how to maximize each resource. That's a lot of it. And then I'm just going to kind of tie it in together with kind of my journey, get a little bit more specific about that, as well as just give people like more ideas about what they can do and what their options are and how their journey is going to play out. And like the title of my talk is going to be the hero of your own journey by taking or by using your resources correctly now. And I think that's a really big part about it is like we need to take full responsibility for our lives. Hey Terrell, how are you doing?
Hey, my man, we're live right now. So welcome to the show, man. I just wanted to give you full disclosure.
Absolutely. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm excited that you get to join us. Is it Terrell? Terrell?
Yeah.
After being a big sports fan and hearing Terrell Owens always talk, I have to ask because I don't like to offend anybody.
Yeah, it's Terrell.
Terrell. It's great to.
What's up, Luke?
What's up? How are you doing? Good to see you.
Good,
Are you guys
man.
already
Grateful.
connected?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Connect through one life.
We were just chatting, Terrell, about leveraging resources and leveraging where you're at to take it to that next place, right? Whatever that is for us as individuals. And part of One Life's new mission is to help people go from surviving to thriving. And I'm curious, because this is actually our first time getting a chance to get really connected, how that's played out, or if that's played out in your life and in your story, and about looking around at your current situation and leveraging that to to fuel you or move you forward.
Absolutely. So you're talking about resources, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I think resources should play a factor in each entrepreneurs and people that's really on a serious journey, life, man. Honestly, because we can't do it alone. Honestly. And as I got along this journey, man, I realized that I was trying to do it by myself, and I was telling myself I didn't really need no one help or need to seek out for this. That I thought I always had it all. I always been like this since I was younger as well. But I've learned, man, to be more vulnerable. And that's what a lot of men and a lot of people that's in a position, they decide that they feel like they got this masculinity. They don't want to just be that vulnerable, let that vulnerability out, because the more we let go, the more we allow flow. So I think that if we know somebody in this certain area and they have a strength, we should reach out to them. Or we know this person has this and they can really offer a lot and resonate and also be beneficial to someone else, then we should reach out. I believe resources should play a key, because also it really helps not only you, but it helps them as well in the long run, to knowing that they are appreciative and their work is appreciative as well. And that, this person can be helped, but this person can be, or this person can be, right? Because everybody needs somebody. So, just like One Life resource or this resource or that resource, for example, me and Luke was chopping it up, honestly, we just connected instantly. And all of a sudden, all this stuff just starting to me and him just putting things together, talking about the event, doing this and doing that. And he know what we talked about and things like that. And we just met. And that's a resource, because I have resources. I invited Luke to come to a recent conference that I was privately invited to. He was busy. That's understanding. That's a resource. I could have connected him with, some people. He probably had invited me somewhere. So it's like, I feel like, man, resources really can help you continue to elevate at a place you desire to be. But it takes for you to take time to reach out to network with the right like-minded people that's at a space, and to knowing that you once was at the beginning, but you're climbing your way through persistence, through gratification, through, resilience, and to knowing that this resource can also help someone who's at a space that feel like they have no help or guidance at a time too.
Yeah.
So it has played well in my life and my journey, man. And I'm so glad to have resources in different areas, whether it comes to business, it comes to health, personal development, life, career, sports, et cetera, man. I think resources plays a big fact, like websites. My lady, she does websites, so she can be a resource for those who looking to get their websites done, the quality way. Or, I have a friend who's big on marketing, and I can refer that. Or I know somebody that's big on counseling or whatever it may be, dating or mentoring, things of that nature. I just think that One Life, for example, big on youth and giving back, so that's a resource. So, I thank you guys for asking that question.
Yeah, Lucas, you're more than welcome to come out and stick around for sure. I'm curious, Terrell, to hear your story. I don't know how, like I said, this is our first time, but the talk that you're going to be presenting at One Life is called The Power of Gratitude. And I just know from getting your vibe and your energy in the first minute or so that you're here is that you're someone who's going to make things happen, and someone who's going to go out there and create for yourself and for others. So I'd love for you to share with the One Life community just a little bit about your background and how you got to this place that you are today, where you're now impacting lots of people.
Absolutely, man. Oh, man. Great question. I actually started at very young, man. I come from the city of Philadelphia, born and raised, where I spent most of my days, man. And, I was so family oriented when I was young, and I didn't quite know what the future held for me. I was always big on sports and video games. So a dream of mine was always to go to NFL. So anytime a teacher or somebody asked me, or a visitor at the school on career day, you know, hey, young man, what's your dream? And I'm like, I want to go to the NFL and be one of the best wide receivers that ever played the game, you know. And as I was younger, man, you know, I can think about it like it was yesterday, man. I had this very special person in my life, you know, a lady who meant so much to me. And, you know, to unfortunate circumstance and everything like that, had to leave us early. And that lady was my mother. You know, she passed away when I was 5 years old. She left me and my brothers and my sister and my father. And it really put us in a world of hurt, man. And I had to grow from leaving West Philadelphia and moving to North and living with my aunt because, you know, I chose this to do that because I never really got to bond with my aunt, who's my dad's sister, and she was big on education. She was an educator, and she worked with troubled youth, too, in the schools. And she helped me get through that stage along with my sister, my father, and a few other supportive people as well. And she put me through discipline, y'all. I could just remember her really putting me through that discipline because I was already going through the stage of staying in my room all the time because my mother just passed away, and it was just there with me, man. I just cried, bawled out crying each and every day because it was like, you know, she died from cancer, man. I know so many people are losing these loved ones because of that, you know, but she lived for so much more, and she inspired so many and was in the medical space also saving lives. But, you know, as I lived with my aunt, man, I learned discipline. I learned the importance of really just trying to stay focused even when it's hard to. She made me stay up nights, guys. I mean, stay up nights, read. I could barely read, you know. I had a real mentally reading problem also with basic math and stuff like that. But she stuck with me, and along with, you know, a few other family members too, to guide me through that. And, you know, growing up in North Philadelphia was a bit tough, you know, seeing that there was always somebody on the corner just trying to make $1. You know, there was drugs on the streets. And something I can always remember as well is just there was people who lived in these homes for years and was, you know, was put out. I forget what it was called, but they moved people in that knew nothing about the neighborhood versus families that lived in this neighborhood for a long time. And it was so sad to see kids on the streets and to see, you know, families just losing that, you know. Another memory from living in North Philadelphia was a good friend of mine, Vaughn, rest in peace. You know, he was a gentleman who was well respected in that area in North Philadelphia. And me and him hung out. He was a lot older than me. And we used to go to community power center where anybody from the community was welcome, and we'd go play ball. Just a place to stay out the way, you know what I'm saying, connect with other inner city kids too. And Vaughn was telling me, yo, Rel, like, I'm really tired of this lifestyle. I'm ready to give it up, man. I don't want to be, you know, selling drugs no more. I don't want to be hustling. You know, I want to just take care of my family. And after that conversation, man, a week later, he actually was shot and killed, you know, and that kind of like, man, that was like an eye opener because, you know, there's somebody I knew, and, you know, we did something for the school in remembrance of him and stuff like that. And then it just kept continuing, guys, just with drugs, killings, and violence, man. And it's the city of brotherly love, man. I love my city to death. But from there, man, you know, I stayed with my aunt, better my education. I realized that, you know, I have to make it far in life. I still wanted to go play football, so I played in the Pop Warner leagues and stuff like that. And later on in life, man, you know, my brother, he came and got me and stuff like that. He made a promise that he'll come back and get me. That's another person that was a big, big play in my life and mentor and things of that nature. And he helped me, guide me through every step of the way. And it's one of the reasons why I also decided to step in this space to really give back and help a lot more people that's in that stuck space, because he told me one thing and you know, when I was younger, and it went in one ear and out the other and stuff like that. But he guided me, but it took for me to really learn. You know, I wanted to be in the streets. You know, I started to surround myself more with the childhood people I came up with in West Philadelphia before North and other people, and I wanted to do what the big dogs was doing. So I made poor decisions, man. That was a big, big fail in my life, but I'm glad that I did that to learn from those lessons and to know that for every lesson there's a blessing. So, you know, I was kind of stuck, man, and I was hustling. I was trying to take care of my family, but I was so stuck that I just thought Philly was the only way. I was so used to that I didn't think there was nothing more until my brother actually him and my sister took me out of the hood for the very first time, because as a child, we went to Wildwood, but we know from you know, Philly, being if you're from Philly or Jersey, that's right close to home, so it ain't really going to where. But I went to Florida, guys, to see the palm trees for the very first time, and that really opened my mind because I'm learning about these different states and social studies and all that. I'm like, okay, when I get old, I'm gonna move there. So as a team, man, I'm in the streets, I'm doing what I wanted to do, and making these decisions for myself, and also take care of my family, hustling, get into fights, keep getting run-ins with the laws, not realizing, understanding I'm putting my life at risk, that if I continue to keep up the same act, I could end up two places, either dead or in jail. So one day, guys came to me, man, when I realized, man, I got so much money saved up, I'm hustling. I also got an hourly job and everything of that nature. Slicing meat, I actually sliced my hand. It kind of healed up over the years, but I'm like, man, I ain't gonna be in no market slicing, but I did it. And I seen a way, man, that there was an opportunity for me to really make that plan and that vision of going to Florida and really creating a life for myself come true. So, I decided to save up money. I decided to stop going to run away. During this time, a lot of my homies, they still in the block. They smoking weed, and some of them dying too, man. A lot of people in our neighborhoods passing away, people not even graduating. So I'm grateful to get my high school diploma. I seen so many sad faces, right? So I decided, man, that, enough is enough, man. And I got to step out that comfort zone I was always used to. So I decided to save and to go to, look at other places down south, because I'm like, okay, my heritage, yes, I'm from Philadelphia, but my heritage and stuff down south, So I'm like, okay, South Carolina. So my sister, you go to this school, you go here, you go to this place. She wasn't with Florida. She's like, look what just happened, the situation with Trayvon, rest in peace to him, out there and stuff like that. I'm like, the situation can be a lot different though. I just always wanted to go to Florida. So guys, I found that way, man. And one day came, I say, man, 2 months after I graduated, I say, man, I'm headed to Florida, you know what I mean? And I caught the Greyhound bus. I had before me catching the bus, I had a conversation with my brother. Me and him had a fallout, when I was a teen, because I wanted to, do what I wanted to do, sell drugs. While he was, law enforcement and stuff like that, that doesn't mix. And I just wanted to get in my own way, guys. I went through the specs of demolition, landscaping, and all that stuff. My cousins helping them out with their business. I'm like, it ain't much for me, but I'm going to slice this meat, and I'm going to hustle, and I'm going to get out of here. So I had a conversation with him. He was like, man, along that way, it's going to be challenges. You're taking a big leap. You're taking a big step. Everything he told me really happened and as I got to Florida, guys. But when I got on that Greyhound bus, I can just look and see that, yes, there's going to be a lot of challenges, but there's nothing I can't overcome. There's nothing that I went through that I can't get through. There's nothing that you go through that you can't grow through. So I'm on that bus, guys, 18 plus hours, man. I'm like, oh, man, I get here. I'm walking around. I got no call. I got a little place, though, and stuff like that, man. And then, I enrolled in school and stuff like that. College, my homie Lige was telling me, yo, bro, go to college, man. It's nothing out here, boom. So I'm like, okay, let me go to college. I went to a private college, stuff like that, man. And the personal development journey didn't start just yet, guys. I knew I wanted to get back to my city. All the dreams of going to NFL went out the window when I was a teen in the streets, just wanted to get fly, deal with a lot of women, and, just have my homies close by because we had each other back. But as I got to Florida, I learned a lot, man, about really being by yourself and knowing when you're by yourself, you ain't really by yourself. That there's many people that's also in a position fighting a battle you know nothing about. So, being in Florida, man, helped me realize the importance and to be grateful that I was able to make it out the trenches, make it out the block, make it from the nest, because it's not able, So along that journey, man, and within a year being out there, man, I started to accomplish so much, at least 2 or 3 times on the dean list, good, opportunities coming across. I was studying criminal justice and homeland security. I wanted to kind of follow those footsteps my brother took or whatever. So within a year being out there or whatever, I had got arrested, man, for a senseless crime, made a poor decision or whatever it may be. And being arrested, man, in my adult life, that was the event that really helped me, because when I was a teenager, yes, I've been in and out of boot camps, I've been in and out of juvenile correctional facilities and stuff like that. But as an adult, this came to me because it say, man, enough is enough. You didn't come this far to start acting dumb now. You know what it was to be at a space where okay, is this possible or whatever? Where else am I heading, right? So, I was arrested and I got charges actually planted on me, charges I didn't commit. I take responsibility for, you know, my actions. And if I was a little violent, but I was trying to protect those that was around me. We always celebrated, man, because we all had a lot of great things coming for us, opportunities. And, you know, sometimes that one decision you make can either make or break you, man. And that decision actually made me, because I sat and I did some time, for a certain period of time and missed a whole year or so. I think it was like 2013, 2014 or so. And I realized, man, that I'm in here, so I got to make the best out of it. I can't treat this as jail. I got to treat it as jail. And so many ideas came across, man. I'm like, man, let me write a book. And I've never been, guys, I'm left-handed. I've never been the most neat, I used to write like kind of weird when I was younger, and I had to get taught how to write properly. But I wrote a book, man. I didn't finish it when I was inside, but I wrote a book because I'm like, I got a story. And, I used to talk to a few other people, like a few other OGs who also did a lot of time in prison and stuff like that, who came to correction facilities probably to sit for a little bit and be released or get back to prison. And they was like, young man, you got a lot on you, man. You from Philly. By talking to you, I can tell you ain't like none of these jitterbugs. That's what they said in Florida, jitterbugs. I guess that's what young boy mean, whatever. But it's just like having those conversations helped me, man. But it was this one time this gentleman came. He used to be around like Biggie and Tupac. He was like the bodyguard for these big time rappers back in the day and stuff like that, maybe in the 80s and 90s. And he was making millions of dollars, but he was involved in like a lot of drugs and stuff. So he said he had got sentenced. He was supposed to get sentenced to life, but with the grace of God, he was able to get that return and only did 30 years. So what he do is go in correctional facilities around the world and talk to inmates about his experience and what he went through. And that gave me an idea, guys. And I tell you, it's about 40 people in the hut, but there was only about 10 people. It was 30 people to be in the room, but so many people can't stand through a presentation. And that's why I tell them boring information changes situations. Yes, it may not be funny, or yes, it may not be entertaining, but it's going to help and align you, because you're not understanding that one conversation can change the communication. So by me hearing his story, I'm like, man, it's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to get released and I'm going to go to different jails, juvenile jails and correctional facilities and stuff like that. And that's what I did, man. With the grace of God, man, I was on a bond. Nobody came through for me. I'm not from Florida, so you know how challenging it is. But I stood through it, man. I was trying to find easy routes. Like, let me go to work release, but I was denied. Let me do this. Trustee, but I ain't like trustee. All they do is eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. It's cold up there. I'm going to just be in population. And I'm like, I don't want the fast route. I want to trust the process and go through this. So, as we fast forward, man, I started to get involved a lot, man, reaching out on my own, no PR, no assistant, and getting in touch with the juvenile facilities and correctional facilities. And yeah, because of my background at that time, I wasn't able to get into the juveniles, but they started to work with me because they see how much I really was sincere about being in this place and being able to share my story and tips and strategies and things that I've implemented in my life to help me get through it so the next young man and woman can get through. So, guys, I started to really be this big time, orator, life strategist, and a real type of person that inspired many youth in these juvenile facilities, helping them get through their everyday struggle and troubles and overturning that, man, knowing that, yes, you in here right now, but the pain is never permanent. It's only temporary, and there was various jails throughout Central Florida, South Florida also, sometimes going up north to Philadelphia, and talking to those people as well, and just looking to really continue to expand it and sitting down with big guys. And it's like, I came from a place of being, where as a juvenile, I was troubled. I wasn't thinking about, okay, I'm going to get back to the youth. But as an adult, it made me realize and be appreciative and to be grateful that I went through this experience so I can share it. Because most of us can't stand in the kitchen, right? We can't, but most of us can. So when the heat is on, when the pressure is on, that's when we most strong, because we know that, boom, it's 10 seconds left in the game. What we going to do? Is we going to try to make that shot, or we going to fold? So I learned to stand tall through it all, guys. And, I started to go to various jails, man. I started to get, reach out to people, man, on mentorship and get connected with the right people, because that's something else I was missing as a teen, was positivity and more light in my life, man. Because I love my guys, I grew up with. Most of them passed away, rest in peace. But we always had what we was used to, and I got tired of that. So I started to be around and surround myself around some real good dudes who was also from, kind of similar cities, but they was entrepreneurs in the event space, like clubs and rooftop events. And they helped me realize and see more a lot as well. And my guy B, shout out to B as well, man. He's in Kenya, Africa. He's an entrepreneur in digital marketing, real genius dude, real genuine guy. So we already been connected for a while. You know, I proved, who I was to myself, and they seen who I was. I sold tickets for them. My first time, like, promoting and stuff like that. I sold, like, more than tickets they was expecting. They was like, man, this guy's good, genuine conversations, helping them grow their company more. It was Miriam Live or whatever, and me and B said, he's like, yo, Rel, I'm going to be real with you, man. You always, like, really inspiring us, man, and helping us when we in tough situations. I think you should bring that to Instagram. I'm like, man, I'm not no model. So he started laughing. I'm like, I'm serious. So he was like, you put post 4 to 5 times videos, just speaking to people, man. It's going to help somebody, man. I'm like, yeah. So I thought about it, and I just took action, guys. I made me a little YouTube and everything. That next thing you see me in Lake Eola, like, it's my job. Like, I'm going out there. I'm like, hello, welcome to another Motivational Monday with your man, Rel. Inspires, because I was changing my name, and I just kept it to I am Terrell Sumpter. You know what I'm saying? But, by him sharing that with me, man, and after that, guys, more people came, in my life. Good people came in my life. And then a podcast came in my life. It was a whole nother change of a whole lifestyle, change the trajectory. Somebody reaching out to me helping them grow their platform by joining forces. I believe when we come together, man, that's when magic really happened. Then this came, then more speaking engaged, then more mentoring, being mentored by the best of the best. Oh, man, I just could go on and go on. I get really excited about it, and even along my life, man, meeting a real great, phenomenal young lady, who I never really, met, like, just so genuine in my life and stuff like that. So shout out to her too, Keena, for really coming into my life and being a part of my journey and being supportive as well. Shout out to my family, my father, Terry. Shout out to my brother, El Toro. Shout out to Shira. My niece's birthday, Danae's. Her birthday is today. She just turned 3. And these people is all a part of my major why, man, of why I'm continuing to go. And most importantly, my mother down in Sumpter, who's above looking down on me right now. So, guys, that's really, I could go on and on, man. But so I've actually finished my book, and it's not published yet. I know I said I wrote my book in jail, but I just finished it. I was procrastinating, Luke and Heck, what I'm saying, for a while. You know how that be. We entrepreneurs, we got to be real and authentic, and that's what I speak more, is authenticity. But I finished it, and I sent it to my guy Nat. So we in the works of publishing at least by before the new year. So looking forward to to that, man, and looking forward to more of that growth and success, man.
Yeah. Well, that's I want to acknowledge and honor you for something. I think about my parents and why they didn't have the ambitions that I do, or why they don't want to start a business, or why they were okay being an employee and working in the system for 30 years or whatever. But when I look at where they came from, their dream was to get out, like you did. That was what was on their mind. And so for them, when they look back, I mean, I remember when I was I don't remember it, but when I was born, the story is 3 weeks when I come home, there's a drive-by, in the, at my grandma's house, and I'm in the living room and shit's going down. And, I was thankful to that they worked so hard to pull me out of an environment, right, and place me in a place where now I can hang out with people like you and Luke and just be on a totally different trajectory. So I just want to acknowledge you for what you're doing to your family legacy, and what you're doing for even, you're putting so much time helping other people. But I just want to, I just acknowledge what you're doing for you and yours as well.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's chat about some tactics, right? Because I got to imagine with going through all of this, you're someone who just kept up and going at it every day. But what were some of the things you were telling yourself, or what were some of the things that you were working on, or how did you actually get through those moments, in that moment? What was the tactics or strategies that you felt helped you get through it?
Absolutely, man. I think that what it was with me is I always was a solo person, so I always try to do it by myself. And I was learning that wasn't working. So I've learned to really just seek out for help, man, and those that really can understand my journey, because nobody never going to understand your journey the way you is. But those that more was in a peaceful space, because as I say, you know, I was like at a space where I wasn't sure or uncertain. So I felt like when you're reaching out to these people and you conversing with them and it's no judgment or anything like that, I feel like, you know, you're being vulnerable, but at the same time that comes with strength. Most people get that surprise with being weak. No, it's not, because they actually can hear what you're saying. They listen to what you're saying, and they're going to give you some good feed. And they're going to give you some feed that you may not want to hear. But, you know, it's good. You know, it's going to help you in the long run. So, you know, I realized, man, that doing that really helped me because, you know, because we all need somebody, right? And I feel like with the right mentorship and a proper mentorship, is not to really help you become like them, but help you become a more better you. And since me trying to do it all on my own or not ask for help or seek guidance or not make no investment, because the best investment you can make is in you and things of that nature, I realized that, okay, yeah, it's just this. But if I want to continue to grow and overcome certain things, that I have to reach out to those with similar stories, those who also making an impact, those who also have achieved sustainable success and not being selfish about it, but also helping others as well. I don't believe in a handout, gentlemen. I believe in a hand up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to help grant you more. That's going to help you live more. It's going to help you be more, do more. Also prayer, you know what I mean? Prayer as well. I prayed a lot when I was incarcerated as an adult. And hey, one of my guys, Kareem, he was actually supposed to face life, but with the grace of God, he got it overturned or whatever. He was at the wrong place, wrong time. But he used to say, man, you always praying, man. He said, yo, I need to be like you because things always coming up for you. I'm like, I just decided to vote myself, man, read the word, you know, and pray not to escape, but to find a better me, to create more of a better me, so I can be able to not go back to that city and be like who I was years ago, but be proud of the person I became throughout the process. So prayer, those that's listening right now, those that's tuned in, I just want you guys to also, you know, it's not about religion, none of that stuff right now. It's about really not being afraid to get on your hands and knees and pray, to seek guidance, to seek love, to seek understanding, because it's going to really help and it brings a better feel within you. You know, it's just always a relief when you pray. You know, before I go into the jails, I pray. After my presentation, I pray with the group or whatever. I ask them, is it okay with them, you know? And, you know, anytime I pray with my lady, you know, I pray with close friends and family. And I also started another thing that helped was listening to inspirational audio. E.T., for example, that was a big inspiration in the beginning. I kind of like, you know, emulated him at first, but then I stopped, learned to not emulate the person, but emulate the process, as Jay-Z once said. But, you know, and I'm like, I say, I want to be a speaker. I want to do this. I want to achieve greatness, and I want to inspire many people. So when I leave this earth, I have something to be remembered for. So listening to that, you know, inspirational audio. One time in my life, guys, I was going through something. It was during my college journey. And a guy, Mr. Buck, who I always mention, good dude, he taught me some fun, exciting, empowering exercises that really also helped shift me more as a person. And I was going through something, guys. I was partying, as I say, you know, I wasn't a part of the event life just yet, but I was partying. I was going out every week. And I was losing my home, I was losing my car, finances wasn't there, I was losing myself. And I used to go to Mr. Buck, and he'd sit there with his coffee, sharp, different suit, color suit, you know what I mean? And I never really met a gentleman like this, man. It felt like I was in a movie. You know, you ever seen a Karate Kid, how, you know, what's the young guy named in Mr. Miyagi? He thought he knew everything, and Mr. Miyagi, like, wax on, wax off, telling him tactics and tips to be that, you know, that karate leader he aspired to be, right? So it kind of was like that, me just spilling out to Mr. Buck, coming out with frustration because somebody referred, say, go talk to Mr. Buck, man. He one of the finest gentlemen you ever meet. He's genuine and everything like that. And when I tell you guys, consistency going to him really helped me take them thoughts, that toxic energy away, and really learn to accept what I was going through. And at that time, my car was repoed. Yes. At that time, I did lose a home, but I had some friends that opened some space for me. We helped each other throughout the way. At that time, I did lose a lot of finances. At that time, I lost a close friend in my life, lost several friends in my life, lost family members, but I never lost my soul during that process. And I was, I had to keep going and keep pushing. So, I feel like, for those that may be at a space where they just don't know how to get out, they feel stuck or they feel uncertainty, sometimes we got to take time and be patient with ourselves and be patient with the process, because the process is more better than achievable than the product. The reason why I say that, because you're going to appreciate it much more. You can do this and you can do that with the product, but the process is going to help you appreciate more, understand more, and help our younger people who always tend to rush or live the fast life not understand that it's not going to get you nowhere. It's just going to get you in the dead end, either dead or in jail or just in that same place you always was. And when you stop being used to the used to, that's when you start getting used to the things that you're unused to. You step out that comfort zone, you step out that nest, and you realize and you understand that the process is what's going to take, and that's what allow you to be more grateful for the decisions that you once made, for the person you became and before who you once was, for the people you're now around, for the impact you're trying to make. So I believe there's different tactics and tools, but you have to see which work for you, because some things may work for you that may not work for other people, but there's nothing wrong with trying to encourage and empower somebody to know that you're never stuck. You're only stuck if you allow yourself to be stuck. And, those are just some tactics and tools and tips and, advice that I'll really give and share with the audience and everyone that's tuned in right now, guys.
I hate to have to stop this or cut it short, because this has been, the universe gives you what you need, right? God gives you what you need. And these conversations that we had this morning were exactly that. So I appreciate the fire and the inspiration. And I'm excited selfishly to have you at the conference in October, because I think that it'll be good for me and everybody who's there as well. Terrell, what you mentioned, there's some motivation that you're putting out. Where's the best place to catch up with you or stay connected with you between now and October? Your social handles or website, where's the best place?
Absolutely. My website is terrellsumpter.com. Instagram, you can find me. I am Rel Sumpter _ Facebook, Rel Sumpter. Podcast, The Inspire Before We Expire, show. You can search that on Google, iTunes, Spotify, you name it. It's a growing platform. Proud of that. Like I say, when I started that, someone reached out to me, and then I just transformed and created my own little show. So, also, I have a new article featured. I was just featured in Disrupt article, big brand. Shout out to Anthony Disrupt. You can find that. You can Google that, Terrell Sumpter Disrupt, and that should show up. Just basically my story, what I shared a little bit about you guys and everything like that. And, knowing that, you can really be stronger and you can get stronger. Like, you will never be in a place and be stuck for somewhere unless you allow yourself to continue to tell yourself that you're already stuck. So you'll find that, read that article, feel free to comment. LinkedIn, Terrell Sumpter, and just many more, honestly. Also the One Life Conference, come out, see me, see many more other people as well, and let's connect, feel free, like anybody out there right now, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here. We'll get my number out, but I gave all my information, so feel free to reach out.
Give your number out. I don't know.
Yes. So, feel free to reach out. Boom. So, hey, heck, before we get out of here, bro, I like to do this. I do this each and every time, even when I do my interviews. I wanted to show some gratitude towards you and Luke, honestly, for devoting time and being patient. I know we had something scheduled before. We scheduled today, and that's what matters. And we was all on time, and we came ready. We showed up, and we did a damn thing. So I wanted to thank you guys, most importantly, for the platform you guys are paving and all that you guys are doing with Tim too as well. Shout out to Tim, my guy, who created this One Life Conference and created this whole business organization for us all to connect and to know that, we start off as friends or business partners, but we become family and allow us to continue to strengthen that relationship and allow us to really inspire before we aspire and help other people along the way, while helping ourselves, while becoming more of a better version of ourselves and, elevating to that level that we desire to. So I want to show much gratitude to you, Heck, and shout out to Luke as well, man. And you guys keep up the phenomenal work. Looking forward to catching and pitching with you guys at the conference, man, sharing some laughs, because I'm a funny guy too, man. I love laughter. Laughter is good for the soul. But more like light, love, and really just sharing some genuine conversations, man. Introduce you guys to my family and friends and stuff like that too as well. So I thank you guys, man, for interviewing me today, man, on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday, transformational Thursdays, and I'm blessed and more grateful for the opportunity, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Go catch up with Terrell. Go hang out with Lucas, and come join us at the conference in October. It's going to be great. This about concludes the One Life Presenter Summit. We had about, I think, almost close to 15 of our presenters, which is only about half of them over the course of 3 days. It was an incredible, just incredible wealth of value that came out over these next 3 days, and it's definitely a little taste of what you guys can experience at the conference this year. So go to onelifefullylive.org/conference, get signed up, come hang out with all of us, and we'll see you guys in October.